There is a line, an invisible line. Most people in America have never crossed it. And the crazy part? Nobody told them it existed. On one side of the line, life works like this. Your car breaks down, you panic. You get sick, you panic. You lose your job, you spiral. Every unexpected expense goes on a credit card at 22% interest. You spend 6 months paying off the emergency plus interest, and by the time you're done, you're right back where you started. Broke, stressed, and one bad week away from doing it all over again. On the other side, same car breaks down, you transfer some money, fix the car, go to sleep. No panic, no debt, just a Tuesday. That line has a number, and that number is $5,000. Not $50,000, not a diversified portfolio with exposure to emerging markets, whatever that means. $5,000. Here's why this matters. The Federal Reserve runs a survey every year called the Report on the Economic Well-Being of U.S. Households. In their most recent report, 40% of Americans said they could not cover a $400 emergency without borrowing money or selling something. $400. That is not a car repair. That is a parking ticket gone wrong. And Mr. Blobski looked at that number, adjusted his tie, and quietly had an existential crisis. $5,000 is the first real wall between you and the financial system that profits from your panic. Today we break down exactly why and exactly how to get there. Let's go. Here is the core problem. Below $5,000 in savings, you are inside what I call debt gravity. Just like a rocket trying to escape Earth's atmosphere, you need to hit a certain velocity to break free. Below that velocity, gravity keeps pulling you back down. Here is how debt gravity works in real life. Meet Tyler. Tyler makes $52,000 a year in Austin, Texas. After taxes, Tyler takes home around $3,400 a month. Rent, $1,200. Car payment, $380. Insurance, $200. Food, $300. Subscriptions Tyler forgot he had, $150. Tyler, the gym membership you haven't used since January is not going to use itself. Tyler has maybe $200 left at the end of the month. At that rate, Tyler needs 25 months to save $5,000. 2 years and 1 month of zero mistakes, zero emergencies, zero fun. But here is the trap. A major unexpected expense hits the average American household every 3 to 4 months. Medical bill, car repair, appliance failure, surprise tax bill, something. So Tyler saves for 3 months, gets to $600, the alternator dies, $350, and Tyler is back to $250. The rocket never leaves the atmosphere. Debt gravity wins again. This is not bad luck. This is a mathematical near impossibility for tens of millions of people. And the credit card companies know it. That is why the average American carries $6,200 in credit card debt. Not because Americans are irresponsible, because the math is rigged. Here is the thing nobody explains. $5,000 in a savings account does not just sit there being $5,000. It buys you something invisible and enormously valuable. It buys you time. Real numbers. The average car repair in 2024, $500 to $600. New tires, $300 to $700. Emergency room visit without insurance, $1,000 to $3,000. Broken HVAC unit in July in Phoenix, $1,500 to $3,000. A flight home for a family emergency, $300 to $800. Without $5,000 in savings, every single one of those goes on a credit card. At the current average rate of 22.8% APR, the highest in 40 years, a $1,200 emergency you take 6 months to pay off costs you about $80 extra in pure interest. Per emergency. And emergencies come every 3 to 4 months. Over a single year, the average American carrying a balance pays $200 to $400 in interest. Money that produces nothing. Money that goes directly to the bank. Money that is the mathematical opposite of savings. $5,000 breaks this cycle completely. You pay cash, pay zero interest, reset. The money you were handing to the bank now stays in your account. It is like getting a silent raise of $300 a year while changing absolutely nothing else about your life. Mr. Blobski finds this so obvious that it makes his tie twitch. And yet here we are. Here is where it gets genuinely interesting. Because $5,000 does not just change your math, it changes your brain. Economists Sendhil Mulanathan and Eldar Shafir spent years researching what financial scarcity actually does to human cognition. Their conclusion? When people are in financial scarcity, their measurable cognitive bandwidth drops significantly. Not metaphorically, literally. People make worse decisions, think shorter term, and miss opportunities right in front of them because their brain is constantly running a background process called, "How do I survive this month?" The threshold where this starts to shift? Roughly 1 month of living expenses. For the average American, that is $4,000 to $5,000. Cross that threshold and something changes. You stop making decisions from desperation. You can say no to a bad job offer because you have runway. You can negotiate your salary because you are not panicking about rent next Friday. You can wait for the sale instead of buying something right now because you are terrified of the price going up. There is also a second effect nobody mentions: invisible negotiating power. When you have $5,000 saved and you walk into your boss's office, your body language is different. You are not desperate. People who are not desperate get better deals, better raises, better job offers, because they can afford to wait. The $5,000 your boss will never see is somehow visible in every conversation you have with them. Tactical section. Because $5,000 in a checking account is fine, $5,000 in a high-yield savings account is better. And most Americans still don't use one. Traditional savings account at Chase or Bank of America right now, 0.01% interest. You deposit $5,000. After 1 full year, you have $5,000.50. Congratulations. You can buy a gumball, a small one. A high-yield savings account at an online bank. Marcus by Goldman Sachs, Ally, SoFi, American Express Savings. Current rates in 2025, 4.5 to 5% APY. Same $5,000. After 1 year, $5,225. You made $225 for doing nothing. Zero effort, zero risk. Fully FDIC insured. That $225 is not life-changing, but it means your emergency fund is actively fighting inflation instead of slowly melting. And the account takes 10 minutes to open online. Mr. Blobski opened his the same afternoon he learned about this and felt like he had found a cheat code. It is not a cheat code. The big banks just really prefer you never compare interest rates. Enough theory. Here is the real playbook by income level. Under $40,000 a year, the honest answer is this is hard, and anyone saying otherwise is selling a course. The math is tight, but one move makes the biggest difference. Cut one large fixed expense. Not coffee, a large fixed expense. Downgrade your apartment by $300 a month, get a roommate, refinance a car. That single change adds $3,600 a year to your capacity. Combine it with selling things you own. The average American household has around $3,000 of unused stuff sitting in it, according to research by the National Association of Professional Organizers. And you can hit $5,000 in under 12 months. $40,000 to $80,000 a year. You can get there in 6 to 9 months with 2 moves. First, automate a transfer of $300 to $500 the moment your paycheck lands. Before you see it, before you touch it. Second, pick one income stream for 90 days. DoorDash, freelancing, tutoring, flipping items on eBay, anything. 3 months of extra income breaks you past debt gravity. Then stop if you want. You just needed to escape the atmosphere once. Over 80,000 and still under 5,000 saved. I say this with genuine affection. You have a spending problem, not an income problem. Track every dollar for 30 days. You will find it. It is almost always subscriptions, restaurants, or a car payment that is too large for your actual income. Fix the leak. At your income level, 5,000 is achievable in 60 to 90 days. This is the part where Mr. Blobski gets genuinely excited, because 5,000 is not the destination, it is the launch pad. Research on financial behavior consistently shows that people who cross the $5,000 threshold are dramatically more likely to start contributing to a retirement account, more likely to see income growth within 2 years through job changes or side income, and significantly less likely to carry high-interest credit card debt 12 months later. 5,000 changes your decisions. Better decisions compound. And here is the number I want you to take away from this video. If you keep that 5,000 as your permanent safety net and separately invest $500 a month into an S&P 500 index fund starting at age 25, by age 65 you will have approximately $2.6 million. At a 4% withdrawal rate, that is $104,000 a year, without touching the principal, forever. One more thing worth knowing. A study by the J.P. Morgan Chase Institute tracked over 1 million households and found that families with a cash buffer of around $5,000 experienced 60% fewer financial hardship events than families with under $500 in savings. Not 10% fewer, 60%. The same income, the same city, the same economy, just one number between them. It starts with $5,000. Not because 5,000 is the finish line, but because it is the only place the real game actually begins. Here is your homework. Tonight, not next week. Open your banking app. Look at your savings balance. Be honest about where you are relative to $5,000. If you're there, your next step is a high-yield savings account, and then we talk about what comes after. If you are not there yet, pick one thing from today and do it this week. Not a lifestyle overhaul, one thing. The system profits from your emergencies, from your interest payments, from your panic. The most disruptive thing you can do is boring, unglamorous, and completely achievable. Save $5,000. Park it somewhere it earns interest. Touch it only for real emergencies. And then watch how differently the world treats a person who is not desperate. I'm Mr. Blobski. I adjusted my tie approximately 11 times during this video because financial stress is apparently contagious even when you're explaining how to avoid it. Subscribe if you want to keep breaking the rules of a system that was not built for you. Class dismissed.